What is up? We are back and black. This Diggers, what's up? Hey. What is going on? Another day, another 10 cents for black folk, another $2.50, another $250 for white folk, but another 10 cents for black folk. Man, what is going on? I'm your boy Warren G, the place to be, been clown and sucker free since 2003, and can't nobody finesse me. Man, it is a chilling but great day today. It's a little hot, didn't get cold at night. Shout out to everybody that's at the Court Plantation right now. I'm pretty sure some nigga telling on somebody right now. Boss, I see them pick up $10, boss. They didn't report it, boss. You want their name and their first name, last name, their badge number too, boss? I got it for you, boss. There's some nigga out there doing that shit right now as we speak. Can't stand niggas like that, sucker-ass niggas. Shout out to everybody that's handling business and doing what the fuck they need to do to survive. Shout out to the people at the Court Plantation. Shout out to everybody that's been watching all the crazy shit that's going on. I know y'all been watching the playbacks of the Jeezy and Gucci Mane versus battle. Shout out to Jeezy, man, for just rising above all the bullshit and just doing what he gotta do, you know? And shout out to everybody that know how to move forward. You gotta step aside to move ahead, so shout out to all y'all. Shout out to all the lazy ass niggas that's sitting around the house all day, not doing shit, they wanna call you at 12 o'clock at night because they wanna hit the clubs and shit. Well, nigga, why don't you hit Club COVID, nigga, and sit your clown ass down, because you ain't going nowhere. And shout out to all our niggas in California that thinking that they about to go hop from bitch to bitch and go kick it and do what they need to do. Shut it down, clown. Curfew time. And it's getting ready to crack out here in Vegas too, as they are closing a lot of the hotels again, and you're not going to be able to have rooms available during the week except on the weekend. Oh, it's going to shut down. Please believe you me. It's coming. Like a thief in the night. Shout out to everyone that does not think about finessing, but think about doing to better their race, to better their people, their family. So shout out to y'all. There's no other way but your way. You have your own way in life and you just handle it. Two roads diverge in the yellow woods. I took the one less traveled. That's how you gotta think about things. Hey. Don't give me the singing in here. Shout out to all these women and niggas too that's using this failed economy as an excuse for their laziness, but they've been lazy before COVID hit. Nigga be like, man, what you got going on? Shit, man, ain't nothing, man, since COVID, man. Can't get shit going on. Well, what you was doing a couple years ago? Oh, shit, nothing. Well, nigga, it ain't COVID, nigga, it's you. Shit. So shout out to them niggas, man, because there's a bunch of those niggas out here. Hey, what's going on, Wendy? I see you. Hey, bro, boy, it's been a minute, but we are tuned in. Happy Sunday and no Jesus. Hey, I was just about to do that. You got me off guard. But since Wendy said it, hold on, y'all. Did Jesus come back today? Ah, damn. Y'all did all that for nothing? Damn, man. Singing in the choir? I know a nigga probably was singing. What's a good song that they sing at church? Wait, let me see if I can sing it to this beat. Like, you gave me my hands to reach out to man, to show him your love and your perfect plan. You gave me my ears. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, man. I've been told on and flex on by a supervisor, but we flex back. We're on code, control for show. Oh yeah, they gonna flex on you. That's because a lot of these people are bad that Joe Biden won and not Donald Trump. They're real white supremacists. They don't want the secondary white supremacists. They want the first white supremacists. So a lot of niggas is mad at y'all, you know, because they just assume every black person voted for Joe Biden. So, you know, but shout out to all y'all that's at the church. Ain't nothing wrong with church. Ain't nothing wrong with the power of prayer. I don't knock people that go to the church. I make fun of it because there's a lot of what they call baby saints that get involved in the church, and then they want to be preaching to you like like somehow, some way, they have a direct connection to Jesus Christ and you don't, because they more in tune with that religion than you are. And then when you start bringing up Ifa, Santeria, voodoo, and voodoo, you start bringing up the real shit. I just don't do no voodoo. That bullshit. But you'll pray to Cesare Borgia all day, so don't even get me started on that shit. But did he come back today? Ah, damn. Shout out to all you women. First of all, I gotta nip something in the bud. Not even nip something in the bud, but look, if you wanna, whatever religion that you in and whatever religious path you take or road that you on, that is your road and that is designed for you and you only. Stop trying to include everybody into your road. And for one, that is in the divine order of what is meant for you. So you can't, superimpose that onto someone else. It's like when I started reading this shit. I didn't expect everybody to read like me. I just was buying the books that I wanted and started reading them. Just like stock and bonds, same shit. You have to understand what's best for you, and then you're gonna make it work. So shout out to everybody that has taken their road and taken it seriously in their journey and is embarking on their journey and not worried about nothing else. And last but not least, shout out to all the finessing ass niggas that's sitting around the house right now, ain't doing shit, but got a plan to borrow $10 from 10 different niggas and they got their $100. So they can spend 50 of it on some weed, probably about 15 of it on some drink, and then they gonna keep the rest. You know what I'm saying? Probably, keep the rest so they can get some food and shit. And if they could, they invite a bitch over to smoke, drink, fuck. I know what you're doing. So shout out to all y'all niggas, man. We gonna get into it. There's a whole lot of shit to discuss, so we gonna get into it. Hey. Cut this down. Man. Man, I was reading this article, and I know a lot of people were reading it, and it was very, not disheartening, but disheartening. The thing that doesn't surprise me, it's going to keep happening, it's about these two black teenagers that got shot by Japhet Santiago Miranda and I think another white officer. Forgot what his name is. I'm trying to find him as it is. And they got pulled over. And of course, they reported, the police said, we thought it was a stolen car and all this other stuff. So they just shot into the damn car and killed two teenagers. Basically killed them. And they're going to say they were in fear for their life. You already know what it is. That's why I was trying to tell you jackasses that's out there trying to vote for Biden, they are pro-police. Him and Kamala Harris are pro-police. So, nigga, that shit is not going to change. So you're going to be dealing with that for a while. Y'all just think because Kamala and Joe Biden ain't out there saying nigga, and all this other shit that they not racist, but they're pro-police too. Like I said, I've been watching this thing about Sean Ellis on Netflix about this brother that was wrongfully convicted because it was some dirty cops out of Boston. Go watch The Departed. Very, very good movie with Jack Nicholson and Leonardo DiCaprio and Matt Damon and all them. Just crooked all over. And it basically, it's the same thing. But since the young brother, they asked him, hey, man, what do you know about that murder to that police officer? The brother was just like, yeah, I was there. I bought some Pampers that night. Shit. Oh, you bought some Pampers? Guilty, nigga. Locked this nigga up. And he did 20 years for a crime he didn't commit. And then when they knew they didn't have enough evidence and it was the dead police officer was so corrupt and everyone around it was corrupt, they started doing all this digging. So what the DA's office did was, well, we're just going to go ahead and not pursue pressing charges against Sean Ellis, but we're not saying that he's not guilty of a crime. That type of shit. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. And then what trips me out about everyone is they know that cop was crooked, and it was a Sambo nigga that was the police commissioner and basically got up there and seconded those emotions and was talking shit about Sean Ellis in his own way. Sambo ass nigga, man. Get the fuck out of here. Look, let me tell you something. Everybody, okay, you have your choice of what type of job you want to do. You go pick up trash. You go work for the trash dish. You go work for the hospital. You go do anything. You do not have to go be a cop. You do not have to sign up to go be the police. If you do that, you're doing that at your own will. And when you are cast out from your racial group, don't be mad because every other racial group protects their own. when they become police officers. Only black cops that get on there and try like they don't know niggas and shit. So, you know, these 2 teens got shot and killed out there in Florida. And I just think it's almost just another eye-opener. Injustice means shoot first. I'm going to shoot first. I'm dumping first. I don't have time to think. That's how they're trained. They're trained that black folk are the enemy or the threat, and they're going to shoot first. They're not going to shoot with no taser, no car. They're going to shoot. You could be eating ice cream. Matter of fact, you could have Jesus Christ in the car with you. They still dumping first. Who's that in the car? It's Jesus in the car with us. Nigga, well tell that nigga Jesus to put his hands behind his back. Fuck out of here. And that's how they gonna always do it. And they ain't gonna change that shit. Let me see if I can find a little. Let me see what they got on there, man. As long as they not playing though. I'm gonna play some of the audio of what happened.
The people stop. I said no.
Here, I'm gonna play some audio. Let's see what they talking about. Cause you know, I think the marching want to repeat. Black folks gonna get tired of that shit. One day you gonna get tired of that shit. I bet nigga better not be marching with. If something that was to ever happen in my presence, I'm not finna be marching, whining, and repeating. I'm calling their asses out. And hey, I guess I'll have to be in fear of my life, but you still gotta call the motherfuckers out. What's wrong with being like, hey man, this is a systemic problem that's gonna keep going on. That's why y'all out there voting for Biden, voting for Kamala. Where they at? What are they doing? How are they trying to do? Police reform means moving people around from one department to another. Police reform is why Mark Furman and the rest of those dirty racist cops are still on LA Police Department. After they fucked with the evidence on the OJ trial, beat the fuck out of Rodney King, them officers are still there. So let's see.
Shoot him, please don't shoot him. My baby is in that car. He just got in here. He haven't been in there 2 minutes.
Yep. 2 minutes.
Stop.
Oh, did y'all hear that? I hope y'all heard that.
Shot fire. Shot fire.
That's because they train to shoot first. They're trained to shoot first. Let's see what else the video say, because it's not really saying nothing. And we can do all the marching and whining, repeating, and the crying and the sobbing. Please feel sorry for me. And, oh, God, why did y'all do this to us? But they're in charge. They're in control. They've been in control for 450 years, and that shit is not going to change. And voting is not going to make that any different, period. And y'all motherfuckers think that's going to make it different. No, it is not going to make it different at all.
Happened 4 days ago in Cocoa in a The Brevard County Sheriff has released new dashcam video showing the moments leading up to at least one deputy opening fire on a car, killing a 16 and 18-year-old inside. The shooting happened 4 days ago in Cocoa in a neighborhood there. News 6 investigator Maris Badcock is in the newsroom with the video and reaction from the sheriff.
The video you're about to see is graphic, but it shows a clearer picture into what exactly led up to the shooting, which left 2 teens dead and 2 deputies on paid administrative leave. All this information now coming from Brevard County Sheriff
Paid administrative leave. Remember that.
Wayne Ivy's Facebook page with this video attached.
This is dashcam video from Brevard County Deputy Hafit Santiago Miranda, taken a few days ago on November 13th. According to Sheriff Wayne Ivy, both Santiago Miranda and fellow deputy Carson Hendren are...
Carson Hendren sounds like a Caucasian suspected white supremacist, aka a race soldier.
Looking for a possible stolen car, one that fled from another deputy in the Cocoa area. There is no audio at first, and it's not clear if that's an edit or how the video recorded. But we've briefly slowed down the video here to show you the silver vehicle Sheriff Ivy says his deputies were looking for. Here, they try to make contact with the people inside. 16-year-old Angelo Crooms, 18-year-old Sincere Pierce, and another unidentified passenger. Then, audio cuts on for what happens next.
Stop the vehicle. Stop the vehicle. Stop the vehicle. Stop. 1033. Stop the vehicle, goddamn. Stop. Stop.
The car then goes off camera.
Did y'all hear all them shots? Y'all had to have heard all them shots. That's ridiculous.
Before coming to a stop. Both Crooms and Pierce were killed, and the deputies have been placed on paid administrative leave while the Florida Department of Law Enforcement investigates. Sheriff Ivey posting Tuesday night that Deputy Santiago Miranda, who yelled stop 7 times, was forced to fire his service weapon.
He wasn't forced to fire nothing. He was not forced to fire anything. Stop.
An attempt to stop the deadly threat of the car from crashing into him. Ivey also said a third person inside the car told FDLE investigators that everyone inside could hear the deputy's commands. Santiago Miranda has been with the department for almost 4 years, and Hendren almost 2.5. Ivey now asking for prayers for the families of Crooms, Pierce, and his deputies, as an incident of this magnitude impacts everyone.
2 firearms
Nigga, what?
were also found in the vehicle, according to Sheriff Ivey, but they've not said who those guns belong to. The sheriff's office has not confirmed.
Of course, they always find some. See, this is to dirty up the reputation of the black folk that were in the car. So if you think they had guns in there, then you be, oh, well, no wonder they didn't stop. Because, they had guns in there. So that's why. That's, that shit. That's the dumb, deaf, and blind people. People that are coherent, know what's going on. No. They could have had Barbie dolls in there. They could have had Bibles, the Quran in there. How you know that they weren't in fear for their life? Period.
The vehicle the teens were in was actually stolen, only saying deputies thought it was possibly stolen.
So if you thought it was possibly stolen, but why would you shoot in the car like that? And why did y'all immediately get behind them? Why y'all didn't have y'all sirens on? Why didn't y'all speak on the bullhorn to stop? Why y'all just following, proceeded to just keep following them? Oh, get out the car, stop. Where were y'all lights at? I didn't see no sirens. I didn't see none of that shit. See, this is the thing that I'm talking about. They're always going to say you're the villain. They're going to vilify your character. They're going to dirty up your name. They're going to put it out there to the media that you're bad, and then they're going to play the whole I was in fear for my life.
The sheriff's office has also not said if the third person who was inside that car is under investigation. I'm Maris Badcock, getting results, News 6.
Maris, thank you. And since last week's shooting, members of the community have called for answers from the sheriff's office. News 6's Nikki Zazaza continues coverage now from Brevard County with the community's response.
Now, despite the release of this...
Now, this is the thing that y'all need to understand. When y'all voting, this is what y'all voting for. So when y'all look at, oh, well, we're going to have police reform. Police reform means we're going to move police officers around from one unit to another. That doesn't mean they're going to change the system. Why would they change something that's working for them? Like I was watching this show 60 Days In or whatever. And, it's racially divided in prison and all, but the government allows it to be that way. They allow it to be that way. And the reason why they allow it to be that way is because it's what works best for them. This is the same government that used Freeway Ricky Ross to get crack cocaine in here, a la Oliver North and Noriega. And then when they no longer needed Noriega, they went in there and raided his shit and made it seem like he was the bad guy. Nancy Reagan and them just say no, but the whole time they bringing in crack cocaine and infestating the motherfucking inner cities of black folk with crack cocaine. And the infestation of the crack cocaine epidemic was so bad in the 80s. It was like, damn, y'all really gonna do that? Y'all really just gonna put and act like we don't see none of that shit? So y'all need to understand how history works. If they've been putting this shit here and allow it to run that, it's just like police. It's just like law enforcement. If you don't think it's racial guidelines within law enforcement, y'all niggas is crazy. It's the same way there too. It's gangs within law enforcement. You got the white people at the top that pull the purse strings, then you got the Latinos who got their own way of doing things, then you got the black folk at the bottom. And the black folk at the bottom know that there's other shit going on, but they're not gonna say nothing because they just happy to be there.
Dashcam video community activists I spoke to say they still want accountability and say the release of this dashcam video is not enough. I reached out to family of the teens that were shot and killed, and they tell me they're not ready to talk. Before Sheriff Wayne Ivey released this dash cam video, Cocoa City Council member Lavander Hearns was saying the delay was stirring public mistrust.
Family could have had answers much sooner.
Deadly force policy should be modified.
To Reverend Johnny Dennis, the 55-second dash cam video released doesn't cut it and won't stop a rally he is organizing to demand transparency.
Releasing the video is not enough.
Reverend Dennis reacting to actions by Deputy Hafet Santiago Miranda, opening fire into this vehicle, striking 16-year-old Angelo Crooms and 18-year-old Sincere Pierce.
When I saw the video, I said to myself, here we go again, because these kind of occurrences happen over and over and over.
And it's not going to change. It's not going to change. It ain't going to change. I don't care how much accountability. Look, who's holding the accountable accountable? Believe that. Who's holding the accountable accountable? Remember that.
Stop the vehicle.
While deputies can be heard ordering the teens to stop, Reverend Dennis says the teens' actions didn't warrant deadly force by deputies.
They did not even display no lights that they was pulling these people.
Isn't that what, Shawnee, what's happening? Don't trip, man. You always found it. What's good? Hey, how they been out there in Philly? Man, I know that. I'm talking to the chat right now, man. Hey, salute to Philly. Whoever was in that truck that ran over that law enforcement, they wasn't playing that night. They had those officers retreating like a motherfucker. I thought I was watching Transformers. Them motherfuckers like, retreat! Them niggas came out there tripping on motherfucking Philly law enforcement. But anyway, man, what's going on with you, Shawnee? Didn't I just say, why didn't they show their lights, their sirens? Why didn't they get on the bullhorn and say, please stop the vehicle? No, they just got out and just acted like they was criminals. You don't know what's going on. What if those kids were scared to death? Like, oh shit, we getting pulled over, we about to get killed. See, this is what happens. Y'all think this isn't going to happen, but this is what happens every single day. Some things are just televised, some things aren't. And like I just said, why don't they have the sirens on? Why don't they have the sirens on?
Anything, they just run up behind them, jumped out with their guns drawn.
And that's exactly what I just said. How you going to run up on somebody? You didn't put your sirens on. You didn't have no bullhorn on that said, this police, stop the vehicle now. Stop, come out with your hands up of the vehicle. No, y'all just get behind them and draw down on them. And then when it's like they provoked them into driving away so you can shoot them and kill them.
Hearns saying more information could have been provided sooner without impeding the investigation, calling the violence senseless and tragic.
None of us start off, perfect. We have our bumps in the road. I was a teenager as well.
Now, Reverend Dennis says he still plans to move forward with a rally he has organized tomorrow.
Yeah, you can rally all you want, but ain't shit finna happen.
At 4 p.m. He says the family deserves more answers. Reporting in Brevard County, Nikki Zizaza, Getting Results, News 6.
But let me tell you this. You ain't gonna get nothing more than what they want you to know. And all they want you to know is, hey, we shot and killed those two teens. They should have stopped the car when we told them to stop. That's all you're gonna get. That shit ain't gonna change. Why y'all think that's gonna change? How is that gonna change anything? It's not gonna change nothing at all. Hey, what's going on? Lost my damn, I'm not even tripping on the law. Oh, man. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. Man. We sorry to hear that, Shawnee, man. Bury my dad. Damn. Shawnee, good to have seen you. Philly police are shady anyway. Man, well, RIP to your pops. I know having losing a loved one around this time anyway is very, very difficult, very, very hard. We're going to keep our prayers. Like I said, prayer is powerful. There's nothing wrong with prayer. Just who are you praying to? Like I said, I'm very sorry to hear that. That ain't cool. And, man, RIP to your pop, Shawnee. That's not easy to deal with. And I understand. It's very, very tough. And I don't blame you for not even worrying about the law, because they can't help you with shit anyway. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to, as we would say back in the 80s, 90s, the community policed each other. You didn't really, if you saw the police, it was very rare. You know what I mean? And the reason why it was very rare because it was more a sense of a community. Even during the crack epidemic, it was very much a sense of a community, because everybody, see, what they want everybody to think is that every black person was on crack. Everybody that was black was not on crack. So stop. You know what I'm saying? Just like now I watch TV and you see a lot of white people, Caucasians. You see a lot of them on crystal meth, and it's like, it's funny. And the reason why I say it's funny is because they burned the drugs thinking that it was, you know, from my understanding, it seems like they got crack in here because they knew it was going to bond with the DNA of melanin. So they brought the crack in here, and then they started making other shit like crystal meth and all this other stuff. They just wasn't thinking that Europeans, white folk, was going to get hooked on these drugs and all this other stuff. That's what they thought. You know what I mean? But to each his own. I would say this. We have to police each other. We got to hold each other accountable on our own. We have to be accountable for our learning, our sense of awareness of what's going on within our communities, how we are teaching each other. We need to be open to receiving information as well. Every day is a school day. And as Neely Fuller Jr. always teaches, I'm still learning. And I always say I'm still learning because, you know what I mean? I'm still reading The Great Men of Color book by Jay Rogers. Very good book. And you learn a lot. You learn a lot of interesting things, how they try to get black folk to co-opt. You know, they try to co-opt and turn a black person. They was doing this in the 16, 17, 1800s. So by the time it got to J. Edgar Hoover and these white folks, they had it down packed. Oh, much love. Thank you, Wendy. Oh, okay. Thanks, family. I'm living away for him. He was a true soldier. Hey, that's how you got to be, man. I always say this. When you are around your family, your loved ones, and they join the ancestors and they go to be with the ancestors, what you do is you take a lot of the things that they taught you and you can learn on it. You know what I mean? I had these conversations with siblings all the time about my mother. I always say my mother was a 33 and 1 degree third masonry in manipulation and in finessing. My mom was the greatest finesser ever alive. And you can learn from that because it's easy for me to see the finesse anywhere else. I'm like, oh, that's a finesse. Right off the back, that's a finesse. You run a game. I already know what it is. You know what I mean? And you can take the good and the bad. And even with the bad, you have to learn from that too. That's why I always tell people, I'm talking about just generally people that I deal with, like, hey man, that's your road, that's your lane. I can only use the corn plantation as an example. You know, sometimes you go on a corn plantation, you have the corn plantation workers like us, like me. I just want to go there and get my bread and get the fuck up out of there. I want to make it as easy as for me so I can use that bread to fund the things that I really want to do. You know, that's what I use it for. Now, others may want to go on there and move up the economic ladder and be a boss and all. And if that's what you want to do, I had this conversation not too long ago. I'm like, hey man, if that's what you want to do it, dog pound. I'm not tripping. I'm at a point, you know what, age is supposed to come maturity. Some people don't, but some people do. And as I get older, and you've been on the corn plantation for a long time, you kind of know what it is. And you know where you lie. Now for black folk, I can only speak for black folk. It's not meant for us to move up those economic ladders and corporate ladders, unless you want to, unless you're going to hold the door open for the people coming in. Like Mike Epps would say, are you a good gatekeeper? But within reason, know that that's not your job. You don't own it. You don't own you're not the authorship of that job, that title. They gave that to you. So you're their man or woman. So you got to do what they want you to do. Just like when you see in all these law enforcement kill unarmed black folk. That is not going to change because the system is designed to keep black folk, in my opinion, behind the line. That's why when you say reparations, everybody look at you like you crazy, like you a terrorist or something. That's why Jane Elliott, when you ask her about reparations, this bitch start talking about the Native Americans. Because it's so far-fetched for them to associate the United States of America Incorporated, the government, giving black folk the money and resources that is deserving of us building the country. That's why it's so far-fetched to them, because they feel like, well, what do they need it for? You know what I mean? So I feel like we, as individuals, have to start holding each other accountable in a different way, though. Not calling each other out and doing all this bullshit and making it a spectacle. No. Call a motherfucker out like, hey, man, have you read this book? Man, you should check this book out, man. That's how you do it. And let me tell you, white folks, they hate that shit. When you get to talking, like they try to debate you or try to make you feel some type of way, recommend the book. I always be like, when they be, I've gotten it a lot. Man, did you vote? Nah, I don't vote. Why you don't vote? Do you know what voting means? And they're like, oh, well, no. I'm like, well, you need to get an etymology dictionary and look up the word vote and see the origins of the word vote, and then we can go from there. Some people go on the internet and look up the etymology of vote, and they're like, well, it says to wish. Exactly. So when you says casting your vote, you're casting your wish. Because if voting was voting, then in real terms, it wouldn't be voting, because they wouldn't allow you to pick the person that's in charge, because you're going to pick who you're enamored with, not what is best for the overall group. And really, if you're really intelligent, you're going to be like, well, why would I think that some white person is going to be the overall good pick for black folks? Because how could a white person tell black folks what they really need? Black folks know what we need, know where to get it. It's just white folks are the controllers of the narrative, the money, everything else, and they're not letting it go because they've been in control for so long. So why would they let it go? That's why you're gonna keep seeing the shootings. You're gonna still keep seeing black folks behind the lines. Even watch this thing 60 days in, how this brother from Latin Kings, as soon as he walk on the thing, all of the Latinos, hey, you Chicano? Oh, you with us. They make his bed for him. They take care of him. They want to know who he is and where he's from, and that's it. But the black brother, I noticed they kept focusing on the black people in there because the black folks were so disaggregate. And then you had the Woods, the Pecker Woods at the top of the chain that was basically, kind of calling shots. And then you had the Latinos, and then you had the black people at the bottom. And that's how it is outside of prison too. That's why you see so many Latinos with businesses and loans and all this other stuff, because they're allowed to by the dominant white society. That's how they're able to get those businesses, because a lot of other racial groups that are here, they're just happy to be here. They don't feel like they're owed a debt. So they're just going to go with whatever comes their way. That's why they get over here and they get to talking shit about black folk and how lazy we are and this and that, because they don't know the history. They'll never let a person tell you what your history is in this country. You better know that. You better know a little bit of that. If you don't know nothing that your ancestors built this motherfucker for free with no repayment, you better at least know that. If you look at all these killings and you look at the people that are in office, that's not going to change when Trump gives it over to Biden. Everybody think, oh, Biden's back in. People was crying. I'm like, man, that shit ain't going to stop. Watch, y'all going to see more killings, more shit going on, shutdowns, economy tanking, and then everybody going to be like, man, we should have kept Trump in here, man, because now the economy is fucked up. The economy is going to be fucked up here regardless to all this bullshit. I just think more people are so focused on things that don't matter. I think a lot of people are focused on things that don't matter. Those are people that got a lot of time on their hands. If you ain't got a lot of time on your hands, you're not focused on minuscule shit that don't matter, that can't help you in the long run. Only thing that can help you is you. You got the same 24 hours in a day that everybody else do. And I think we have to start teaching the younger generation, when you get in the car, you are in danger. When I'll tell you this, when you get in your car and leave your house, if you are a foundational black American, if you black, period, especially if you foundational black American, you are in danger. Say what you want, man. What's going on, bro? I see you. You are in danger when you leave your house every day. This isn't just in Florida. This is in New York. This is in Vegas. This is in Cali. This is all over the United States of America Incorporated. When you leave your house, you are in danger if you are black. The rules, policies, procedures, they are written to keep you behind the line and to treat you as the animal that they think you are, like a domesticated primate. And they wouldn't have it any different, because that's how they're able to keep order and keep order restored that way. They're not going to change this system. I don't understand why we get on TV and get to crying and sobbing and hoping that they gonna change. They're not changing none of this shit for nobody. Niggas is gonna have to take it. I'm telling you, that's the only way it's gonna change. You know, and as you read the article, you know, I said, so you got Japhet Santiago Miranda, Latino, Hispanic, and Carson Hedren, a white person, who just shot up in the car, killed 2 teenagers. You didn't put your sirens on, you didn't do nothing. You were in danger. R.I.P. to those 2 children. May they rest in power. That's fucked up, once again. But it's not gonna stop. It's gonna get worse. So while y'all thinking that it's gonna get better and we singing shit like we shall overcome, nothing much, man. Get in that knowledge now. Hey, I feel you. We gotta get the knowledge, bro. I'm telling you. Y'all need to go get this book. The Black History Reader, 101 Questions You Never Thought to Ask. And I'm telling you, this was highlighted a long time ago. I read this book probably like 4 years ago. Let me read some of the things it said. 13th Amendment reads, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude except as a punishment for a crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted shall exist within the United States. So that's slavery, which is a prison. Then it says, this is the things that I've highlighted. It says whites as symbols of authority could criminalize blacks by merely charging that black violated the white code of etiquette. The whole code was informal and included requirements that made it criminal for blacks to dispute a white person count charge in front of them, lock down on them, or look a white person in the eye. So basically, they had laws like you can't look a white person in the eye, you got to look down when you walk by. All these things to keep their superiority. You know what I mean? There were hundreds of thousands of instances in which a black person charged with having committed a crime or violated a code was beaten, run out of town, or lynched. If a public authority simply said a black person was guilty of a crime, whether the crime was fabricated or not, that person would be imprisoned and used as free labor. Now, with that being said, didn't I just tell y'all in Slavery by Another Name? In that book, it basically, if a white person saw you, you didn't know that white person, and they didn't know you, but they say, hey, nigga, you owe me money. You could be like, hey, I don't owe you no money. Yeah, you do, nigga. And then I can go, if I'm white, I go get the magistrate, which is the judge. We can get the police, run up in your house, pull you out the house, take you to court, and then the judge says, what's wrong? What did this nigger do? Or what did this colored man do? He owes me $100. $100 was like $10,000 back then. And you like, man, I don't even know him. Guilty, nigga. You owe him $100. So now you got to work on this farm for 10 years, free labor. Guilty. And Dr. Claude Anderson talks about it as well. These are 2 different books. So don't tell me we didn't build this country. We didn't give them that free labor. White folks wasn't doing it. Go read Medical Apartheid. White folks was dying from yellow fever. Like a motherfucker, just dying like a motherfucker. And they looking at to the point to where a lot of slave owners was calling doctors out like, why the fuck ain't none of these niggas dying? But all my family is dying and I'm damn near about to die. That's in medical apartheid. In Slavery by Another Name, look, they were so cold. Let me tell you how cold they were. They were so cold that if a white person left his property to a black person because he felt bad because he raping them and robbing them and doing all that, and he left his property, another white person could file a motion basically with the court and say, I deem him insane because ain't no way he would give a nigga his property. And the judge would side with that white person and they'd give that property to the white person, and the niggas would just be out on the street or they'd have to go work for that white person on that property. So they created a law deeming a white person insane, and it would void the will and testament because they felt like a white person was insane to give their property to a black person when they died. This is what the fuck been going on to us. So I don't know why y'all think this Kamala and Joe Biden, all that shit ain't gonna change shit. All that's gonna do is keep things the way it is, and that ain't gonna never change. Period. Go get the Black History Reader. And again, I'm going to read what he says about Bill Clinton. Randall Robinson quotes former President Bill Clinton, who commented on the willingness of blacks to accept symbolism as political payment. President Clinton said, "The black people love me. I don't really know why, but all they seem to care about are the symbolic things like cabinet appointments. When blacks accepted integration, they gave up blackness, disappeared into multicultural diversity, and still did not get the resources they needed." That's what Bill Clinton said. So basically, we love symbolism. We love hot sauce and doing the stanky leg, and Kamala Harris wearing Timberlands, and Joe Biden saying, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. That's symbolism, and that's what we like. We don't like the real. See, I would much rather deal with Donald Trump because at least you know what he is. You know where he stands. I don't want no covert racist motherfucker that's going to nigga behind closed doors, or like that massage therapist that thought he was texting his white racist friend about the niggas, but he was really texting a black sister. Damn, niggas is always late, basically. And she got pissed off and went to his job. He tried to explain. That's on another podcast I did. But man, this is what it is. And it ain't gonna change, man. At all. Y'all need to pay attention to what the fuck is going on. Be aware of your surroundings. Educate yourself every day. You can learn. Educate the people around you as much as you can without being condescending. Each one teach 21. Hey, man, if you're around a motherfucker that's dry snitching and telling and acting like a Hayward Shepherd, telling about the gun line, Sambo, Steven from Django, motherfucker, guilty nigga. Hey, man, I'm out. Peace.